While shiny Pokemon might be some of the rarest Pokemon to encounter, it doesn't necessarily mean they look better all the time. Some of these guys are just, well, we'll say interesting looking. Shinies are Pokemon that have a different color palette from their original. While a lot of these guys look awesome, some more majestic, cooler, tougher, others, however, look like they were accidentally dropped in a pool of paint and the Pokemon Company was like, yeah, alright, good enough. So today we'll be looking at the top 10 worst shiny Pokemon. Number 10, Seal. While I honestly like the color, I can barely tell this Pokemon is even shiny. I could probably swap the pictures around and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Seal's shiny is slightly brighter than his original, and while it looks good, it's very hard to even tell it's shiny. If it wasn't for the little sparkle at the beginning of encountering a shiny Pokemon, you might just run from it not knowing it was ever shiny. Now that's a scary thought to have, running from a shiny Pokemon. Number 9, Voltorb. Voltorb's shiny is the worst case of brain freeze ever recorded in the history of video games. Not only did he have the misfortune of getting brain freeze, but now his entire head turned blue and stayed that way. While I do enjoy some of the shinies that just become two solid colors, this is definitely not one of them. If we look at Magneton, he becomes a very rustic looking Pokemon. Sure, they just faded his colors out and made him black and white, but it gives him a very fitting look. He's like an old wise magnet. The blue just does not fit well with Voltorb, and Electrode even looks like he's going through a weird 11-year-old lip gloss phase. Number 8, Helioptile. This might be one of the weirdest looking shinies. It looks as though he's blushing because of how embarrassed he is to even be a shiny. For some reason, the Pokemon Company dipped his lower body into red paint and then decided to neglect changing his head at all. The red color itself is very unflattering, and in addition to that, it clashes with the color of his head, which for some reason, as I said earlier, is just unchanged. The little patches of yellow that were left from his original form make it look as though this shiny was unfinished, or they ran out of ideas halfway through. Hopefully they'll remember to come back and finish coloring him. Number 7, Diglett. Diglett looks like it was punched in the nose and then it turned blue and made this shiny. The only thing I can think of when I see shiny Diglett is a bruised nose. I mean, I guess they changed up the shading on his body a little bit, but it's barely even noticeable. Even though finding a shiny is a rare instance, I would not be excited to see a Mr. Blue Nose pop out. Sorry, man. Number 6, half of the second generation. From Quagsire to Wobbuffet to Heracross to Magcargo, half of this generation's shinies are pink. Although some of them look fine, a lot of the shinies from Johto are just, well, pink. That's it. They're just pink. It looks like someone dropped their game cartridge in a bottle of Pepto-Bismol and let it sit there for a week, came back to it and said, hey, good enough. It's not that I have a problem with the color pink, it's the fact that it looks very lazy and uncreative. If you look at Wobbuffet, he was blue, and now he's pink. Alright. See, at least with Slowking, they add some blue to his neck thing. What even is that? Anyways, it looks as though they darkened his original shade of pink and made it look very fitting. Everyone else, they just threw some bubblegum on. While I understand it is pretty hard to change a monocolored Pokemon's palette, it's good to consider something that makes them look unique or use a color that's very fitting. Number 5, Aaron. The zombie apocalypse came early as shiny Aaron steps foot into the world. Either that or he hasn't slept in a few years. Look at him, his eye is so red. And that's it. I guess his underbelly is a bit bluer, but you probably didn't even notice that. I don't think putting a contact lens in makes him a shiny Pokemon. If that were the case, I could go get some now and become a shiny human. Wait, I can do that. I can become a shiny human. Time to go get some red contact lenses. It's time! Number 4. Weavile. I know I just ripped the whole second generation for being pink, but man, Weavile was so cool. He looked super slick, menacing, and then, well, you did this. You made him king of the lollipops. I know you made Sneasel pink too because, well, you flipped a coin and whoever got tails became pinked in Johto. But I mean, look at Vulpix and Ninetales. You don't have to make the next evolution the same color. You coulda not done this. Weavile, man. I'm sorry. Number 3, Cryogonal. Something about Cryogonal's color change makes him look like he's in such distress. He looks super annoyed. Look at that face. Ugh. I forgot to file my taxes. Now I gotta go downtown and talk to the help desk because I lost my phone charger. Now I gotta go buy a new one. I can't just call them. I gotta take the bus. This guy's gonna bumped into me. No. You can't really tell in his original color, but it's way more apparent in his shiny version. I just feel really sad looking at him. I hope things work out. Number 2, Dusclops. It looks like Dusclops overheated. Not only that, his weird mustache lip thing looks like individual sticks of gum. I honestly like the strawberry flavor, so I'm okay with that. But I don't know how a shiny Dusclops feels about people ripping off his mustache for a stick of gum. Number 1, Bursaring. The Pokemon Company must have had a background deal with gummy bears on this one. For some reason, they decided to make him a toxic lime green color. And if we've learned anything from Twitch chat, it's to avoid lime green at all costs. They could have done so much more with him. Made him a black bear, made him white to be a polar bear. And remember, this was way before Beartic and Pangoro. But instead, they decided to make him this gross snot color with a weird toxic look. Hopefully he can at least obtain some superpowers from this. Well, there you have it. Those are my top 10 worst shiny Pokemon. Sorry if some of these are your favorite. If you disagree or know any other shiny Pokemon that should have made the list, let me know in the comments below and subscribe and share for more top 10s. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.